Picture a July afternoon in New England, around 1750. The sun is merciless. Grass stands waist-high, and a line of men move through it swinging heavy, long-bladed scythes, the steel hissing with every stroke. It is punishing labor, requiring workers to cut grass by hand while draining massive amounts of water and salt through sweat. Their throats are coated with dust and chaff. Yet when they finally pause to hydrate, they avoid reaching for cold spring water. Instead, they grab a plain stone jug that has been sitting in the shade all morning. Inside is a liquid that would make most modern people wince. It is warm water, soured with vinegar, darkened with molasses, and burning faintly with ginger. Choosing a warm, sour drink on the hottest day of the year sounds absurd, but this deliberate choice acted as a calculated survival tactic that powered the American agricultural engine, keeping exhausted workers upright when plain water would have left them faint. They called the stuff Switchel, or haymaker's punch. Today, it is largely forgotten, but for 200 years, it was as ordinary on an American farm as coffee is in a kitchen right now. The drink is woven deep into the historical record. During the American Revolution, the poet Philip Freneau even joked about it in his writing, relying on the fact that his readers already knew what a harmless jug of Switchel was. Herman Melville, the man who gave us Moby Dick, referenced it in a literary sketch where his narrator grumbles about offering a cup to a passing traveler. It was a matter of standard, everyday hospitality. The modern era might have erased Switchel from our collective memory, but the architects and authors of early America depended on it for their daily survival. To understand how to make it, we have to look to Laura Ingalls Wilder. In her books, she describes how her mother sent ginger water out to the haymakers, noting a specific folk theory: plain cold water would make dangerously overheated men sick. The recipe starts with acid. We measure out 1 full cup of sharp cider vinegar. Long before anyone in New England mixed vinegar into a jug, physicians in ancient Greece were prescribing something remarkably similar. They called it oxymel, a blend of acid and honey that dates all the way back to Hippocrates. This was potent medicine, given to clear the chest and treat fevers. By leaning on a sour, acidic base, early American farmers were unknowingly self-administering a millennia-old medical remedy to endure their harvest. Next comes the sweetener. We pour in a cup of dark molasses, stirring until it surrenders to the vinegar and dissolves. This map illustrates exactly how molasses became the default sweetener in New England. In the 17th and 18th centuries, massive quantities of molasses traveled north from the Caribbean sugar islands, riding the established trade routes into the American colonies. Because this is a folk recipe, no two farms agreed on the exact proportions. Families pushing out toward the frontier simply swapped the molasses for whatever local sweeteners they had on hand, like raw honey or sorghum syrup. That single cup of sweetener floating in a farmer's jug serves as a liquid record of early American commerce, tracking both transatlantic trade and frontier resourcefulness. Now for the defining element. We grate a tablespoon of fresh ginger, grinding it fine so the sharp bite bleeds directly into the liquid. People in the 18th century held a deep conviction that drinking something hot or spicy was safer when laboring under the sun. They believed a warming drink kept an overheated body in balance without shockingly chilling the system. Because ginger creates a sharp burn in the throat that mimics the sensation of liquor, Switchel gained a second life. During the temperance movement, Americans swearing off alcohol championed it as a completely sober alternative that still delivered a familiar fiery kick. Finally, we add a quart of water, seal the liquid in a stone jug, and tuck it away in the shade. The workers let it rest for at least 4 hours so the flavors marry and the vessel takes on the cool temperature of the ground. This entire process, the sharp ginger, the resting period, the shaded stone, was a highly deliberate system designed to safely cool and calibrate a human body pushed to the absolute brink. Tasting a fully rusted batch of Switchel is a genuine collision of flavors. It hits the nose with a sharp vinegar tang, and the profile is incredibly intense. The sourness hits your tongue first, tightening your jaw. Then the molasses rolls in right behind it, deep and almost smoky, rounding off the harsh edge. Finally, the ginger lights up the back of your throat with a lingering, fiery burn. It is a bracing, divisive drink. In fact, a Vermont diarist in 1853 recorded being handed a mixture of water, molasses, and vinegar, and noted that the taste sickened him so badly he had to stop working for an hour. Yet, there is a strange physiological reaction that follows. After the initial shock, you instinctively crave the next sip. The drink served a specific physical purpose. It was formulated to elicit a visceral reaction that keeps the body moving through a long afternoon of labor. How exactly does a sour, spicy concoction successfully keep workers on their feet during a brutal harvest? This diagram shows the nutrient profile. Molasses and ginger are dense in potassium. Potassium is a vital electrolyte, an essential mineral your body rapidly sheds when sweating under a punishing sun, and one you must replace to prevent severe cramping and weakness. Entirely by trial and error, these colonial farm laborers perfectly formulated a modern electrolyte replacement drink. They essentially invented a sports drink. The timing is incredible. They achieved this precise chemical balance over 100 years before scientists even knew what an electrolyte was. Switchel suggests that a great deal of knowledge was earned the hard way, in the field, under the sun. Generations before the laboratory caught up, these farmers had found a solution that worked simply because they had to.